everyone. Welcome to Christ and Karen's podcast. My name is Mugambi Enoch, and I am your host. Today we have a very interesting topic. As you have heard, as insinuate, we're talking about singlehood. And with me are two amazing guests. I'll ask them to introduce themselves from my right, and then we continue.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Esther Nyamgero. I am a student at JQuat and a member of the podcast team as well. I'm happy to be on this side of the mics this time and not just in the background. Yes, and it's an honor to be here as a guest. Thank you.
Are people prepped to say that?
Are people what?
Prepped to say that they're honored to be on this other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Anthony Adongo. I'm an associate. I'm an associate of JQuat Christian Union. Yes, and it's a privilege to be here again for such an amazing topic. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We are very happy to have you, Nyamgero and Anthony. Now, straight into it. Probably even as we get to talk about singlehood, it would be nice if you would know if we are talking to people who are understanding us or they are in another phase of life. So, are you guys single? Are you in a relationship? Or where are you in the moment?
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I am single.
You're very single.
Very single.
Okay.
Okay. Personally, I am singular. You know, a single is not enough to define my singlehood. I'm single.
Our listeners, this was not intentional.
Wow. We really believe that, Enoch.
Even the host is single. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, so probably just like an icebreaker as we go into it. Do you know like a couple of guys in the scriptures that were single, like they never got married?
They never got married.
Yeah.
Paul?
Paul, definitely Paul.
Yeah. Why should I think for long? Jesus.
Nyamgero.
Actually, I saw her thinking, so I'm like, yes, she won't think
Yeah.
of that.
Any others?
We talk of ladies also
Yeah. Well, they're single ladies.
in the scriptures.
Scriptures.
Was Cecilia married? Was there even someone like
Cecilia.
that in the Bible?
The man I got said Cecilia.
Cecilia.
There was Aquila. Was Aquila a man or a woman?
Priscilla and Aquila
were
were
Yeah.
a couple.
a couple.
Yeah.
The couple.
But I think there's somewhere I was looking up, so I knew this question in mind, so I had some answers.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I was checking. I was one in Acts 21, 8 and 9, the daughters of Philip. The Bible explicitly mentions that they were single. Yeah, that they were never married. They were prophesying and were not married. Yeah, and a couple of other. There are some that people assume. People like Isaiah. People
Yeah.
like Elijah.
Prophet Anna, was she married?
Prophet Anna was a widow.
I was a widow.
Yeah.
Prophet
Okay.
Son? Oh,
Yeah, but she was married for 7 years and then she became a widow. So there are a lot of single people in the Bible,
Of course. Yeah.
even in the Old Testament. Okay, interesting. What would you call? What is this single that you're talking about? At what point does somebody say they are single? Because we could be talking about singlehood, but somebody is wondering, Lewi if they're single or not. Yeah, so what is singlehood, and at what point would somebody say that they are single? Yeah, Andrew.
Okay. To say that I'm single, this is what will define that. I don't have any commitment that is romantic, even mental or emotional to a lady, and I'd say this in terms of a lady that maybe I would consider to be someone I expect maybe to be my wife or something. And so I don't have that commitment at the moment. And in as much as there could be considerations to make it, it's not there at the moment, not even established with anyone. And for that reason, I no one owes me such a response or even a responsibility of being a girlfriend for the lady now it would be a boyfriend, but being a girlfriend or being a wife. Of course, I'm not married. Yes, that's why I would say that I'm single for that matter.
Yeah. So you talked about a commitment. Does it have to be verbal? Or if I imagine that somebody out there, because you mentioned some spheres, those emotional, mental. So if I imagine that I'm in a relationship with somebody, probably
Yeah,
we have not communicated. Am I still single?
I think so. I think you're still single because it has to be verbal. You have to.
Uh,
It's just imaginations. If it comes to reality, then fine. Because you can imagine you are in relationship with someone,
yeah.
and they are in a relationship with another person.
So it has to be
So it has
mutual.
to be, yeah, mutual and verbal.
So people in situationships are single.
Very single.
Ah,
Yeah.
Nyamgero.
I have heard of some contexts where a single person is a person who is not married. As long as you're not married, even
Yeah.
if you're not in a relationship,
Yeah.
you're considered single. But I would say that yes, if you're not married, you are single, and if you have
So
also
that is
not.
what you meant.
Wow. Let's be cool. Let's be cool. If you're not married, you're single. And also, I agree with Anto when he says
Yeah.
if you're not in a commitment, you have not sat down with someone and said, we are pursuing a relationship that is leading to marriage, then you're single. So there's no commitment at all.
Which one are you referring to?
Both. Both.
It's good to clarify.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we're getting both aspects.
Yeah.
Singlehood, I think both definitions are okay because as far as marriage is concerned, somebody who's not married is single. As far as a relationship is concerned, somebody not in a relationship is single. Yeah, but I think we can be considering more of the latter because it's a broader perspective of singlehood, such that we encompass everyone. Yeah. So those are not in a relationship, and of course now they're not married. We not expect them to be married. Yeah. No, there is this question of like, why are people single? Like, why are people single? Why are people not in a relationship? So as a person, now we know like the definition of a single person and why I would say somebody is a single. Is single. I mean, why is somebody single now? Like, for what reason? Now as a person, why are you single? Nyamgero.
Wow. All that just to ask, why am I single?
Why are you single?
Okay. One, because I know there is a time for everything. And right now that God has not prompted me to get into that space, I know that it is not time yet for me to transition into a relationship and marriage. So yes, that is why I am single.
No, there's time for
There's a
everything.
time for everything,
God
and
has not prompted you,
yes,
quote unquote.
quote unquote.
What do you mean by prompted? How would you know that the Lord now has prompted you? And how do you know you have not been prompted? And how do you know it's not the season?
Okay. As a believer,
Yeah.
it is important that you have a relationship with God. And God speaks to you in various ways. He has filled you with His Spirit.
Yeah.
And that is how He guides you. He speaks to you about seasons in life. And He's the one who eventually leads you into such spaces. And so, as you walk with Him, He perfects all that concerns you. He satisfies your needs. He prompts you over various things. There's a knowing that you have. And you see how sometimes when a big season is coming, you usually feel like, yeah, a big season is coming. So I would say that is how I know a relationship that I have with God, a growing, working relationship. There's definitely a knowing that I will have when it is eventually time and when the right person comes.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. And to why are you single? And why do you think people out here are single?
Yeah, that's a tough question today. It was very easy some time back. Yeah, one of the reasons as to why I'm single, I have to say I'm single after transitioning from not being single. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That question is tough. But then, um, there is something you just said about the prompting, and then there is something about the relationship you have with God, so that you get to know when something is about to happen or such things are going to happen. I believe that's true, and one of the reasons as to why I'm single is because um, things don't happen in our lives by mistake, and for that reason, a number of things that I ignored if God's mercy can be verbal, then I think I saw it. Because He could still choose to leave me there for my destruction. Now I'm explaining it from a point of someone who has been in a relationship and then quits the relationship, you see. And so that's a different scenario, because again, it answers the questions why I was single. I think people get single because if it's for someone who has been in a relationship and then becomes single, then it can have different reasons, but mine was because I was just not in God's will. And He made it like, I think to some extent it was so big to a point. It was like you reach to a point whereby the voice is so loud that you can't ignore it. You're like, you can't be here. And till there were practical things to tell you you're not supposed to be here. And I was like, yeah, this is it. And so we sometimes are single because if you have that relationship with God, He puts it in your heart. This is not the right place for you to be, or this is not the right time for you to be there. You see? But if I could say it from the point of before I was in a relationship, I was single because it was enjoyable. I mean,
It was easy.
Enjoyable season, yes, very easy. Like nothing disturbs you. Full time, the time is yours, and it's just a very peaceful. I'm not saying being in a relationship is not peaceful, but that time has lots of freedom. It has lots of things you enjoy. You see, and my brothers are laughing. Those who are playing
They're wondering. They're wondering. What are you saying?
Of course, I'd say that is one of the reasons as to why being single then was just amazing. Like, I was not worried about a relationship. I was not even like thinking about in the morning, in the noon time or something. No, I was just in my world, enjoying my stuff, till I bumped into a relationship. I think I bumped into a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but next time I'm praying I'll consider getting into a relationship.
Yeah. Some people are also single because they're not in a relationship.
Oh yeah.
Okay, interesting. And there are notions out here, some of which we would want to kind of tackle, because we're trying like to handle issues that people actually and ideas people do have. There's this meme. Okay, it's a meme, but there's a point in the meme. You know, somebody's been interviewed and they're asked, why are you single? And like, you know, the economy.
Wow.
I can't state it the way they were stating it, but I'm sure should you listen to them, it was funny. Like, lack of resources, competition from
These are points in history.
Hostility
history
from
papers,
neighboring communities.
especially hostility.
Yeah.
And these are reasons. It could be a joke, but in actual sense, these are reasons that some people hold.
Yeah.
Even in Christian circles, they probably don't have money. Yeah, they probably do not finding the right person. Like, are these legit reasons for singlehood, and how does somebody go about them? Is it something you can hold on to? Because you've given us very concrete reasons, but probably there's somebody listening out there and they're just single because of the circumstance. Had they had a choice, they would not be single.
Okay.
Is that a way to go about singlehood, appreciating it in that manner? Or you have to have actually a lot of thought into it and appreciate it as a season? Or could it be just somewhere you are, just because you don't have any other option? Or for the reasons I've cited? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the reasons you've cited are valid, and the people have different priorities when it comes to relationships. Some feel if I don't have money, I can't get into a relationship, because relationships actually need money.
They do.
You want to be.
Yeah, they do, bro.
How do you know?
Wow, Enoch! Wow, shots fired.
Yeah. Anyway,
For you
valid though. Yeah.
to buy a gift for your person, or to go out or something, you won't always be praying and fasting.
We can't. And pray for provision.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Provision for the relationship, you see.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to transition into marriage, you must think about finances, because now you're going to leave your parents' house. The lady is also going to leave their parents' house, and now you have to cater for your issues. So finances, I know it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But also, when the time is right, God will make it happen, and also He makes everything beautiful in its time. So I do not know, I wouldn't say that this and these are the things that you must accomplish for you to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
But I would say that with the leading of God
Yeah.
and the fact that He makes everything beautiful in its time, you will not miss your season to be single, whether you are broke or not. God can tell you, yes, approach that girl today.
Yeah.
You know, whether you are, all those reasons that we are citing, they are valid, but I think God leading us should be considered more than our fears before getting into a relationship.
Yeah, I think you started a bit about money and finances, and that's the reason people give. Actually, a lot of people, including one of the crew members. Now,
Wow.
there's another reason people give. They want to grow themselves. They want to, and it's something we're going to be tackling as we go ahead. But we can cite it as a reason that people give in terms of why they're single. It's because they want to work on themselves. That's something you hear a lot. I want to hear your views on that, and also I want to do my studies. I want to do my masters, my PhD, and then now I can think about a life partner. Yeah, would those be valid reasons to be single?
Would those be valid reasons to be single? Okay. One, developing yourself. Huh. Maturity is a big thing in getting into a relationship. Relationships, I can't talk about a relationship without talking about marriage, because when you get into a relationship as a Christian, the
Yeah,
aim is marriage,
sure,
right?
sure.
So, and maturity is very important in that sense, because relationships and eventually marriages are for men and women, not boys and girls.
Yeah.
So I would understand when someone says they still feel like they're a bit immature, there are things that they need to deal with. So I would say that is quite a valid reason. Maturing in various ways, physically, emotionally, mentally, being able to make good judgments, even of the person that you're going to marry.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as a boy or as a girl, you don't even know what you're supposed to look at
Yeah.
while choosing a partner. So I would understand why someone would say that. What else did I want to say? Maybe Anto can go as I think about
Yeah,
that other thing, yeah.
it's okay. And can talk on career development as one of the reasons for why people are single, and also people who are called to celibacy. Are there such people, or Paul was just talking of himself? And there are no such people. And how does one balance celibacy and Genesis, as God is telling them it's not good for a man to be alone? Are these two things contradictory, or there is unity in the two? Yeah.
Okay. um, on the matter of why people choose to be single, I think what Esther said is sums it all. You realize that it's not everyone thinks of doing masters, PhD before they get married. It's some people.
Yeah.
Not everyone thinks of I have to work on myself before I get married. It's some people. And so these are unique things that are with unique kinds of people as to why they think they need to do this and this before they get married. And so that is very understandable. On the matter of finances, we can't debate, both for the lady and for the guy. We know the responsibilities for the guy, but either way, there is need for that, giving a thought to that. Now, on the issue of celibacy and what's now written in the book of Genesis, um, if we do the mistake of isolating the scriptures, then we might make the mistake of thinking these things are fighting each other. Paul is encouraging people to be single, and then God in the book of Genesis is like, be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
Christ mentioned about celibacy in the book of Matthew,
Yeah.
Matthew 19. But when he was mentioning it, I mentioned that together with marriage. He mentioned it together with divorce. He mentioned it together with singlehood, and he explained how actually this thing we are talking about here is there. Christ mentioned why people choose to be single. He mentioned it. He was like, some people are born that way.
Yeah.
Some people are do it that so that they can devote themselves to God and serve. Some people are made to be single. I don't know that we still have eunuchs. We may.
We still do.
We may, yeah. And so you see those ones of Christ were solid. But then you realize, do you know the response the disciples gave? They were like, if that is it, then I don't think we are ready to get married. That was their response, the disciples. They were like, if that is how serious marriage can be,
Yeah.
because Christ was explaining, they're like, no, we are not going to do that. And so marriage is so serious that if there is anything you feel in your heart that is still not yet right, you rather take it to God, pray about it, work on it before you get into marriage. And so on the matter of celibacy and being married, I don't think it should be a matter of I'm single because of this, and this.
Yeah.
It should be solely because, especially the one that Christ gave, it's because God has put it in your heart that I'm not going to get into marriage, and so I'm going to devote my life to serve. Or maybe it's out of circumstance that makes you to just like choose your life to be single. Maybe you just have maybe some defects or something, which also happens to different people.
Yeah.
And so God is the God of marriage, is also the God who is of the people who choose to be single.
Yeah.
And he is in both of them, and he does both of them for his glory and for his own purposes.
Yeah.
Yes, and so none of them is superior than the other. Yeah, being single is not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not easy.
It's not easy, and being
Yeah.
married too.
Yeah.
I think I've remembered what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
In the place where people think that they need to mature more
Yeah.
before they get into a relationship, sometimes I think it has to do with their past experiences. Someone needs to heal from their view of men,
Yeah.
or from traumas, or from things.
The view of women.
The view of women. Oh, yeah, the view of women. Yeah, those are things that will definitely affect someone when they get into a relationship and a
Yeah.
marriage eventually. So it would help to deal with such things before getting into a relationship. And so that's also a reason why someone would choose to remain single for some time.
Yeah, I think it's good how we build in a foundation around the genesis of singlehood, or rather why people are single, because that would be important.
Yeah.
Before we're telling somebody this is what you're doing when you're single, probably their motives would be wrong and their views. I also like how we have just brought into harmony the scriptures in Genesis about marriage, and still the same scriptures talking about celibacy, and how God just brings that into harmony even in how he makes us, and how all these things is just God working in us for his glory. Something Anto just mentioned that I would bring up just a bit before we go now into what do I do with all this time now that I'm single.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before that, are single people suffering?
Hey,
Are they suffering?
what are you saying? Are you suffering?
I am the host here. I ask the questions.
You might be hosting suffering.
I ask the questions. Are they lonely? Are single people lonely? Are they suffering? Is there anything that's a disnormal with being single, or they're perfectly okay?
Okay, for some of us, okay, let me speak for me.
Yeah.
I have not had the experience of the other side
Privilege.
of being in a relationship. Hey, please, let's not say experience. The experience of having the other side. So if
Yeah.
there's anything I'm missing, I don't even know
You don't even know you're
that
missing
that
it.
I am missing it. But I have had, and I know what happens on the other side.
Yeah.
So I would say, in that sense, maybe there is some missing out,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say suffering.
Suffering is a big word.
Is a big word. Yeah, it's a strong word.
Yeah.
I am enjoying my time as a single person,
Yeah.
and preoccupying myself with things that develop me, so that I am not focusing on the amount of suffering, if any,
If any.
that I am going through. Yes.
So there's no pressure. You just okay.
Yes. I would
Yeah.
say so,
Okay.
yes.
And
Well.
having experienced.
Having experience.
Okay. You see, it's just nice how these things are so personal,
Yeah.
and we can't really like say that now because Esther is doing well
Yeah.
in her singlehood. Every other lady there might be doing well in their singlehood. I can't say that personally. You see, the way I moved on from the relationship, hata mimi mwenyewe najulizanga kama I'm a normal human being. Like I tell you, that was God.
Yeah.
That was God. That was going to take a tall order on me, actually. A very tall order on me, based on my personality and who I am as a person. But I thank God. God showed up then. And so I'd say that people suffer in their singlehood, especially those who have been broken. If they don't have someone to hold their hands and maybe lead them on how to handle the whole thing after that.
Yeah.
Now, for those who have never been in a relationship, some of them still suffer because have you seen now the way people, even ladies, pursue men? Like, it tells you something
Yeah.
about
They're
what's
desperate.
going on within themselves. And we've also seen men do crazy kinds of stuff, even stalking someone just because they want to have that sense of belonging. And so we can say that people are suffering in their singlehood. Not everyone is, and not everyone is well. And at the same time, we can also say that there is a reason behind the suffering, and it's not always just because they are single. There might be lots of things underneath that might not even be known to them.
Yeah.
And so it's in as much as their suffering might be linked to them being single, and the things they do might show that because they're single, that's why they're suffering.
Yeah.
But you might as well realize there's so many things behind what they're doing that makes them appear to be suffering. But here we are. We bless the name of the Lord in our singlehood.
We even have time for a podcast.
Yeah.
Have you had anyone in a relationship here? I'm just kidding.
Enoch, let me add to what Anto
Yeah.
has said.
Yeah.
I think it is those who I know
Yeah.
could definitely be suffering as single people
Yeah.
are those who do not know Christ, do not have a relationship with Christ. Yes, it is possible still to be suffering as a believer,
Yeah.
but there's a void in every believer. I think we have heard this so many times, in every man that only God can fill. And sometimes you try to fill it with relationship, you try to fill it with other things just to see if you will feel better.
Yeah.
But as a believer who has a working relationship with the Lord, you find that He meets all your needs. You are satisfied even when you are single,
Yeah.
completely. And it is possible. So, yeah, there may be suffering, but it is possible to have that void filled by the Lord so that you do not rush into a relationship to try to fill that void because it will not fill it. Yes.
You just reminded me of something before we go on. It's a bit off topic, but I've just remembered it anyway.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I think a couple of weeks ago, why marriage is not eternal. Okay, like we know, like it's the image of Christ and the church, but I was like, we could get married just 80 years and I'm staying for eternity, and that's it. And I was like, and then I was like, I think I had held marriage to a level that was above the way I should have held it. I think at that point, as I was thinking about it, because I was like, this thing should last longer than 80 or whatever years we get to
Probably it
live.
does. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It could be.
It could be.
Do couples know each other in heaven?
If we will know Christ, then probably
We will know.
you will know.
Probably it's an interesting
Amen.
discussion. We could find some other time to talk about
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Yeah, no, not going into now the singlehood. Now we are single. We know we are single. We know why we are single. What are we now doing with our lives? Are we just waiting to be in a relationship, or what now do we do with our lives? What do we do with this period? If I'm single for life, if I'm just single for a period before I get into a relationship, what ought I to do with my life? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I
Nyamgero.
go first, okay.
Yeah.
So, I think singlehood is a time for you to become, better, to develop yourself, to mature, to find. I would quote three things that someone quoted: your identity, your purpose, and your significance in life, so that even that you're going to the person that you're going to be with eventually complements that, especially as a man.
Yeah.
A man is being given a helper to come and help with what? And I'm thinking about Adam in Genesis. I would imagine Adam didn't even know the concept of a woman. It was not in his mind. Yeah, alikuwa amepewa kazi yake, anajua kazi yangu ni kufanya hii na hii na hii, this is what I should eat. Alikuwa tu sawa. But it is God who looked and said, it is not,
not
good for
good.
man to be alone. And then gave him a woman. And this woman was coming to help Adam in what he had already found in God. He had already found his identity, he had already found his purpose, he had already found his significance. So I would say that singlehood is an opportunity for you to deal with those three and to develop your relationship with God so much so that the person that is coming to just complement you. He's not coming to try to fill a void that can only be filled by God.
Yeah.
That's what I would say in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Would you mind exploring what it mean to have an identity, to have a purpose, and a significance. What exactly does it mean? There are words we throw around, but someone might be wondering, what's that?
What's that?
Yeah.
Let's start with identity. Identity is just who you are, generally, who you are in Christ, because our identity should be pegged on Christ. Some people find their identity in their tribes, in the courses that they do, in the jobs that they have, in different things. But it is important that you find your identity in Christ. Some also find the identity probably in the person that they marry eventually. You see, and that is a wrong approach to it. So just who you are in Christ, and yeah, I think that's what I would say about identity. Purpose: what are you on earth for? God has a plan and a purpose for everyone in life. And so just figuring out what is it that God wants me to accomplish in life. Generally, what is my ministry? Yeah. Significance, it's very related to purpose. What is very specific to you as Enoch, what is very specific to me. Yeah.
Thank you. And so you have something to add on that?
The gathering of the man of God and the woman of God. And we have Enoch. I tell you. Now, I'm trying to think about what someone can do with their singlehood. And wow, a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really the big thing is just what Esther has mentioned, because I think if you don't know why you're existing, which there is a theory of I don't know, I've forgotten the word, but there's a kind of life that Solomon portrays in the book of Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
That life whereby it's a life of vanity among vanities. Chapter 1, 2, 3 talks of how he went to explore the world and find meaning in life, and he found there was none. Why was he finding there was none? Because it was a life outside God. So that now when he reaches chapter 12, he starts explaining to us now what a young man should do. Serving Christ, serving God, giving their lives to God, living to obey God, living to honor Him, and then finalizing with why actually we were created. Now, if you don't know that, then your singlehood will be wasted, because you will be trying to find things to comfort. There's a desire in us for fulfillment. And actually, if you're doing anything that is not fulfilling, even for a job, you can be going to a job that you're not enjoying. Now, you can go to that job, you come back and you just empty. You're like, the day is gone, that way again tomorrow. It's the same way with our lives without purpose. You try to get into a relationship, then you get into one. After getting into one, you realize there's even nothing big in it. You can't even handle it, you can't sustain it, or it's not fulfilling because you're doing it for the wrong reason. And so I think that in singlehood, there's a lot we can do, so much. And number one, I'd say that in singlehood, you can maximize your service. Because let me tell you, when you're now, if you guys have never dated before, but we've got a legend here. We've got and if you're dating, probably for example now coming here, you had to by this say that, oh darling, hey, I am going for a podcast and all that.
Could you
Now
accompany
be,
me?
you can stand with me in prayer and all that, those kinds of stuff. You forget about your friends anyway, and you realize that you can give yourself fully to service. When there's an opportunity for mission work, as long as you don't have commitments, you can go. During days like 14th of February that is forthcoming, you can be recording people who are fighting in your town. This year, like, there are lots of things that you can do in your singlehood. But when it comes to on that day, you can take a retreat. You can choose to take a retreat. You just want to go and have time with God. Out of that retreat, you can really have a lot of direction and leading about your life, about service. Again, if you're doing coursework, you can give it your all, unless you're someone who is doing coursework while you're just waiting. Why can't someone just come and approach
Fill
me?
this void.
Fill this void. I want to study with someone. Now, if you're someone who is focused, then you can do a lot in studies. You can do a lot with your friends as a single person. You're not guilty about anything. When interacting with your friends, you're free. But you get in a relationship with someone who is very possessive or something. My friend, Even your friendships are questioned every now and again. You
Yeah.
don't want such kind of a life. And so there's a lot that you can do in your singlehood, a lot
Yeah.
that are beneficial. But of course, we know that there are so many people who in their singlehood are also doing a lot that is not beneficial. Either way, your singlehood always comes occupied. It will always be occupied. Yes, I can't say that those who are single are not doing anything. They're always doing something. It's either now to check whether it's the good thing or the bad thing. But my recommendation, do something that will prepare you now. If you are really looking forward to one day making a move, please do something that is equipping you more and more
Yeah.
to be sufficient enough for that time.
I've remembered something that is important to do while you're single.
Yeah.
I would say it's to build meaningful relationships, just cross-gender relationships,
Yeah.
because it is out of these cross-gender relationships that you will eventually specialize on one of your friends.
So isn't that hunting?
No, it is not hurting. It is out of a
So
very
you're
pure
like,
conscience.
I have these friends.
Yeah.
One of them might.
Maybe, yeah, just maybe.
You
because
could
where
be-
do you want to get someone? You know?
We are going to the one. We are going to the one. I'm looking forward to that session.
I would say just build meaningful relationships,
Yeah.
because there's an order to things.
Yeah.
There are three kinds of love: agape,
Yeah.
phileo, and eros.
Yeah.
Right? Agape is the one that we get from God, and it's us who have received agape love that are now able to reflect it to other people. That is now filial love. And once you have given someone filial love, you can't move from agape straight to eros, you know.
Yeah.
So out of the normal interactions that you have,
Yeah.
you will eventually transition into erotic kind of love. So I would say building meaningful relationships out of a pure conscience. Enoch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like Stodge, the one for family.
Familial love.
And really just, I think I was about to peg that question. That would mean for relationships. Then somehow Nyamgero brought it in. I think it was a good blend. But people keep on saying this, like, make friendships, whatever. I keep on thinking, I was thinking to myself as I'm not saying it's invalid. I was just thinking to myself as I was trying to think about the show. Because now you're told to build meaningful relationships and friendships right now out of a pure heart, as Nyamgero has kept on. Yeah, because you probably won't have that chance when you get into a relationship. What kind of a relationship are you expecting to get in? That's my first question, such that you'd have that point. Secondly, what is it that you're doing with your friends that were you in a relationship you would not have done? And if that is the case, would you consider that a kind of a relationship that you'd need actually to keep and pursue? I don't know if you've gotten my question.
Yes.
Like, if the kind of way, is it an issue of time that now you're spending most of the time with one person, or is it the way you're interacting with people that changes immediately you get into a relationship? What exactly is the dynamic here? And if there's something that is a dynamic, is there something we ought to change in the way we're interacting with our friends? Because I'm imagining, I think I've taken so much time to explain the point, but I'm imagining if I'm with a friend and I couldn't engage with them the same way if I was in a relationship, the way I'm engaging with them right now, are we really engaging in a pure or a right manner? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who wants to take it.
Sister has been saying, okay, okay. So
Let me try. Let me
Yeah.
try before Anto says. There's someone who said that think about your relationships right now.
Yeah.
If you get a partner, would they be okay with how you interact with that other friend who is not your gender? If they would not be okay, and even if you in your conscience, you know, hapa tunaenda sana, then find a way of fixing that relationship. So I think what I meant by out of a very pure heart is just filial love at its best in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Interacting with people as your brother, as your sister, then one way or another, God would bless you with another one out of the purity that you have been walking in. So to answer your question, I would say just think of your relationships, your cross-gender friendships. If there's something that is off, if you're specializing, if you are enjoying each other's company in a way that is suggestive, I think that would be a loophole that the enemy might use, and it is not healthy.
Okay, interesting. I don't know, Anto, if you had something else to add on that.
I have a question.
Wonderful.
I
Wonderful.
have a question to ask on the same.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have such close like friendships, like that network of friendships without at some point veering of like getting to the point of it being suggestive? And on the same point, what if being suggestive is only on one end?
Yeah.
Like probably it's just the lady. I feel like, hey, things might be. And then, men, before they make that move, of course, there are some men that might be in that situation, but then they won't, like, say. But some of them might even know that you are, like, getting in, and that's how much wicked people can be. They might know that you are getting in, but then they will just enjoy, like, you drawing close, but then they don't have an intention of, they are enjoying the fact that you are getting in, but they don't have that intention. And then out of the blues, they are boom, they are in a relationship, and then you are left there. You are like,
And you're the first person to be told.
and you're the first
You'll
one
be
to
called
be
that
told.
night.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know.
You know,
I know
sister so and so,
someone.
sister,
Me or
sister
me.
Esther.
Probably
Oh,
that sister is your friend.
May such people never locate me in Jesus' name.
And
Hey.
the reason I'm bringing this forth is because these friendships of ours, okay. I mean, we are human beings,
Yeah.
and I can't lie that sometimes in our friendships, someone can do something out of a very pure intention, and then for you, you pick it like, you're like, why did they do that to me?
Yeah.
Could there be something? Could there be something? And once you are there, as she said, just make sure you're keeping your mind on check, and that's not easy, brother. That's not easy, especially if you feel like it's necessary. Like, if you feel like it's necessary, maybe for them to know, or you think that this is now. You see what Esther said about God's timing?
Yeah.
Like unaanza kufeel emotions inakubeba, you start feeling like this might be the time that the Lord is making.
Yeah.
And so these friendships of ours, I don't know how much careful we should be,
Yeah.
but at least just to be prayerful and wait, especially for ladies. I don't know. I don't know. You see now the problem with these friendships, Enoch, is
Yeah.
you might be 2-3 brothers
Yeah.
seeing the same lady. All of you guys are friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you are in a circle whereby you are all friends.
Yeah.
A good example we can use, for example, now JQuatCU. Let's use exec. Why should we begin going far? Exec, for example.
Yeah.
You're in the executive committee. All of you. It's the interactions are almost so often. And then, so you might be seeing someone, but then you might be seeing someone and then you see them in another person.
Yeah.
They're also just friends. And so the friendships get confusing sometimes. So I think in as much as we can be in friendships, still, and just take care of your heart.
Sure.
Just make sure your boundaries are set so that people see me. But what you said about the love in the friendships, how the boundaries can work and everything, I really can't say that this is it, like this is where it should go. But wisdom applies.
Wisdom applies.
Wisdom applies, yeah. Take your time.
Yeah. I think Kimgi can handle that. So, especially in the area of how do you manage these friendships as single people, because we'll be handling the next episode. By the way, you can tune in on Pursuit. And I think we'll talk more about now. When you think it's time, what do you do? But now, before then, how are you handling these friendships? How are you going about them? Especially in the areas Anto has raised where you might do some things and you're like, that is suggestive, but to the other person's mind, it's not.
I think generally people should be very sober in their interactions with each other, with friends. And because gender friendships can be tricky sometimes. Maybe I feel like this brother is being suggestive. But as I think maturity dictates that you speak it out. If you're not enjoying it, if you're
Yeah.
not riding in it as well, you could just say, I feel this you are being suggestive in this sense. just defining things at every point so that you just don't enjoy it, and then eventually atakwambia, oh, the way you've said I'm in a relationship and now you're left heartbroken. But now if you're asked, why are you heartbroken, my sister, is there anyone
There was no
who had
evidence.
there's no evidence? So
Track
you
around.
see, you have been building castles in the air. So at every point, defining things, because we are not speaking about a relationship where we are enjoying each other's company in a manner that we are specializing. We are speaking about healthy relationships.
Yeah.
We want to have a healthy cross-gender relationship. Then it is important that we define things, that we are sober, that we do not give the enemy loopholes, like spending too much time together, just the two of us,
Yeah.
um, having very long night conversations. You see, now that is starting to specialize.
That's borderline
That's,
specialization.
yeah, and it's hard to stand at the border and not fall on the other side.
How far can I go?
How far? Someone said,
People would
if
ask
you
that.
ask that question, you want to go
Yeah, you
far.
want to go far. No one will ask that question
Yeah,
when they
you
want to
know
stay
actually
inside.
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think being very sober in your interactions with each other, and when feelings come, now thinking about the next step,
Yeah, which we'll talk about.
which we'll talk about.
I think what has been coming up, one, you have more time, presumably, when you're single. I've been hearing that from you. If you disagree, if I've had the wrong thing, Pierre, you can tell me. I've also had the area of service where you have more time for service and you can be more dedicated into service and everything. Also, there is the area of building meaningful friendships and sincere ones without any strings attached. And a lot around that. Are there other things you think somebody can use in this period of singlehood? As you add into that, there's also this thing that is coming up in my mind. We are talking of singlehood in a sense in which somebody is preparing for marriage. You get, like, you're single, but it's like the end goal of this singlehood is marriage, because you're working on yourself for marriage. You're working on these things for the other partner. Should that be the case? And if so, how does somebody probably who's called to be single all their life handle such a situation? And also, like, generally, just for every single person, should that be the case? Yeah, should you be working on these things with the end goal being marriage in mind, or should you just do it as a person in terms of fulfilling your purpose? Yeah, and
Okay. Let me start with what to do when you're single. Um, One of the things that we really fear doing right now is reading, and I feel it's very important. Reading and praying. How much simple it can be.
yeah,
Prayers. There is, I mean, reading books, and then there's also studying God's word. Taking your time to study God's word and being intentional about it
yeah,
will really help you big time when you're now married. I believe so, of course, even from the testimonies of others. And these things, when you get married, if you didn't develop the discipline of doing them when you're single, it amplifies in your marriage.
yeah.
Now you will even be worse. You will even be
Yeah.
worse, actually. Yeah, you'll be struggling to do these things. And so, in this period of singlehood, it's a period of preparation, like for the things going to come. Even your career, there's a lot we can do right now. As I say this, I'm also talking to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it because I've been perfect, but there are things that I consider daily because they're important for me. Gaining relevant information, interacting with the right people. When you get married, there are some places you might not even go, but then you can enjoy the opportunity of going to Keishas,
Yeah.
going to conferences, worship experiences. If you love music, as I do, those who love tech and everything, you can visit as many hubs as possible that they do tech. Like, there's a lot you can do because you have the time, and there is no one really that is nagging you. Of course, I'm not saying relationships should be full of nags and everything, but
Yeah.
there's a lot you can do with undivided attention. Um, and there's another question you asked about.
Now that we are mostly looking at what people can do in their singlehood
Yeah,
as a way of preparation for marriage,
yeah.
should that be the case, or because it's like the end goal is marriage?
Yeah.
Like, is that something that people should work around, or should there be another goal beyond marriage? should it be about you, and especially you as a person, what God has called you into, not necessarily
Yeah.
as a person waiting for marriage, or it's just okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
As I said prior, not everyone is meant to be married. The same way, not everyone is meant to be in the music ministry.
yeah.
That is a nice example to use. I think we struggle a lot there. Now,
You meet somebody is off tone, off key,
I
and they have
mean,
And they
confidence,
insist
you are
and they have
tone deaf
confidence.
and you're just confident that I am supposed to be here. I mean,
Yeah,
like when you are in Christ, foundational, when you're in Christ and you have that relationship with God, there are things God define in our lives. And I believe God, if you're relating to God like that close, God will always like help you know whether you are really like meant to be married or not. I mean, there are people like who knew very well that they are not. It's not that it got them with surprise that oh no, I just don't feel like getting married. No, like there is that preparation God gives you that just helps you know that well, marriage is not my thing. I have one of the elders in our church. Like he's not married
yeah,
ever. He's just that he's old actually. He just does ministry, does Sunday school, teaching children and all that. Yeah, and so I think it's something that God puts in our hearts. It's not for everyone. The same way marriage is not for everyone. It's the same way singlehood is not for everyone. And so if God has put that relationship is important because it helps you know what are you really expecting, what are you working towards. And so someone who is meant to be a celibate won't be preparing to be handling that time that should be taken with someone preparing for marriage. He can take it in preparation maybe for his calling or to do ministry and all other things that God wants him to do, you see. And so it's not like everyone's. The only thing I really object is you expecting that someday you're going to get married
yeah.
and sitting there saying that God will help me. No,
When that
my
time
friend,
comes,
you will know that you don't marry God, you marry a woman, and you have to prepare for that because I mean, and the woman is not perfect.
Yeah.
So if you don't work on yourself to handle such, you will be surprised. You will be there expecting some angel. Maybe that's just a compliment.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as we bring this to a close, I don't know if Namgero, you have something to add on that. Also, as you try to handle how somebody can be aware and escape the danger of being self-centered
Yeah.
in this season of singlehood, because it could be so much about me, myself. I am doing this, I am building myself, I am working on my. How does somebody handle such? Because there's a risk of that happening,
Yeah.
and also if you have something else, somebody can use this period to do. Yeah.
Okay, maybe to add on what Anto said
Yeah.
first on marriage. Your question was if someone should focus on another thing other than just marriage.
Yeah.
I think marriage is not an end in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a means to an end. And so if you're all you want to accomplish in this life is to get married,
All you're doing.
if the day now you get married, now what next?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know
You keep on
you've
telling us I am Mrs.
yeah.
Mr.
Exactly. So I don't think that should be the only thing that people are preparing for.
Yeah.
There are various things. And also the Lord teaches us all, the Spirit of God teaches us all things. So he will continue to teach you. On self-centeredness, that's a spiritual matter, I would say.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we should use carnal weapons to fight things that are spiritual. I think as one continues to walk with the Lord, the sanctifying process works in them, and God is able to pinpoint this is self-centeredness, this is pride, and sometimes you don't even know it. It's very subconscious until God points it out. So what I would advise any single person is to actively pursue their relationship with the Lord. Every other thing is found in that. So preoccupy yourself more with your relationship with God, other than thinking about who you want to marry and these other things. Like I had mentioned the story of Adam. It was not Adam's initiative. Adam did not look around and say, I need a helper.
Kubaya.
It is God who saw that he needed a helper. And also maybe one thing now to finish is,
As a parting shot also.
as a parting shot,
Yeah.
is another reason to not preoccupy yourself with marriage and a partner is because the suitability of a marriage partner lies with God and not us. Because you can imagine two people from two different settings with different upbringings, mindsets. wanting to come together and be one. For that to happen, it will take the Lord. So you see, when you are preoccupying yourself with that, you are trying to look for someone who is suitable for you in your own eyes.
Yeah.
But you see, there's a way that may look right in the eyes of man, but in the end is distraction, right?
Yeah.
So that is why, more than thinking about the person that you will marry, you should think about your relationship with God and allow God to now introduce you to that person. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and to, but in short, something to add on that, as we call this a day.
Well, I'd say that both singlehood and marriage, all of them are God's idea for our lives. That's why we are not born into marriage. We are born, we grow, and then we get married. Yes, and so let's appreciate this season and have that relationship with God so that we know the time to transit and even when it is even right for us to transit according to His will. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for making time and sharing your insights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really thank God for you. I thank you, our listeners, for listening. As we started, I was asking, why are you single? Now I hope you know. As we come to a close, I hope you know and you have a better perspective about singlehood and also how to just glorify God in this season. So I've been your host, Mugambi Enoch. This is Christ and Currents podcast. Follow us on all our platforms, especially on Spotify. Share with your friends and let us learn together in this journey of faith. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.